What is up, everybody? All right, so I go pretty in depth into this concept in my course that I'm creating. But I was doing it with a student last night, and it's the concept of learning the modes, sort of the same way that we learn our bar chords. And what I mean by that is, I want to start with Ionian, the major scale, and let's just say we were playing something where it was going to be C major. You might do a C major there. Or you might do your C major there, okay? Now, that after we sort of get out of this position of the guitar, we do end up learning the bar chords, sort of using the top string as our root or the fifth string as a root, just like that. Now, we really want to focus, and this is great to do early on, as you're sort of learning the modes, but we really want to think of the modes the same way. All right, so what I mean by that is, for that C major, I've got my C major scale, and I also have my C major scale here, and if we were to take it all the way through the guitar, our normal major scale up there, down here, it's the fifth away. So what I mean by that is, this is our one, this is our root note, okay? This is the fifth degree of the one. Okay, so if you guys can follow the math, if you are, if you know theory well enough, so it's not just the major scale. If we start here, it becomes the Mixolydian. Right? Now, what that means is the Mixolydian on G is the same notes as a major scale on C. Okay? The reason that this becomes so super important is, if we were, I want to take an example that I do use a lot. Let's just take like an E minor, right? E minor, E blues kind of a thing, right? If somebody's like, hey, if we're in a guitar jam and somebody just kind of says like, hey, we're gonna play, something E blues, or E minor or whatever, my first position is probably going to be here. I rarely go right for that 12th fret, okay? This is a little bit more comfortable. Now, from doing that, sort of learning some Hendrix songs and some blues, some E blues stuff that sort of caters to the pentatonic or the minor or the Mixolydian, sort of the mix of all of those, kind of getting that blues sound. Sort of learning it here, that gave a little bit of an easier way to then take that into all keys and all modes, okay? So now that's the same with C, right? Now if we go to a little bit of a less, just like a less common thing, because that E blues is just like so common, for a guitar jam. But if we were gonna do the first example, I might want to jump in instead of just here, sort of jumping in down here. Right now, positionally, it could be the Mixolydian, but really I'm still playing, I'm focusing on all the same notes that I would be up here. So now, this is where the functionality of the modes really come in handy, where we've now just said, like, taking the Mixolydian, taking a G Mixolydian, but I'm playing it note-wise as a C major. All right. Now let me go a little bit off of that. If we were to play that, if I were to play something in G7. Right now I'm playing that G Mixolydian, same scale, differently. I'm focused a little bit more on the G, the chord tones in that G7. So the scale, the mode, the position is the same, but how we're playing it is going to be different because the chords that we're playing it become different. All right, so when we're doing that, it's not too hard to picture if you're sort of like able, if you guys know the modes, if you're sort of able to get the theory behind it. But your major, right? 5 away is your 5. Obviously 1 to a 5 would be your Mixolydian, right? So your major, if we're starting right here. Now let's just take that. Let's move this up. All right. Now we're gonna do something in D Dorian. Okay. Now if I'm picturing D Dorian, yes, I can go up here, but maybe I do want to start here, right? In this position of D Dorian, right? So now the 1, the 5th of the 1 is obviously the 5. Right? And then if we just take this up, now we're working in Dorian, which is the 2, right? So now it's not the 5, it's going to be our 6th mode, our natural minor, our Aeolian. So, same idea. Now, my D Dorian is actually positionally going to be played as an A natural minor, A Aeolian, right? But I'm going to be focusing on those Ds a little bit more. The Ds, the F, that A, those chord tones in my D minor, right? Versus, same example we did before. If I were to just play something that was very much an A Aeolian, playing very differently, focusing a little bit more on the A's, okay? So now, we did that 1, C majors are 1, right? Jumping up to the 5 would be our Mixolydian. Right now we're on 2, right? Jumping up to the 5 of the 2 is 6, and I hate saying that unless you really know that you're very well versed in the theory, because it's such a weird sentence to say the 5th of the 2 is 6. Right? And then we can just keep going. Let's just say we were in E Phrygian, right? E's our 3rd. Right? That means, all right, cool. Now we're going to take, we were on Mixolydian as the 5, then we went to Aeolian as the 5. So now we're sort of in the 7th mode, not exactly the most common, right? For B, our B Locrian. You know, but focusing on our E. You know, if I was in that E Phrygian. Let's move it up. Right now we've got F. F is our 4. Right, to go to our 5, we're no longer in Aeolian. We're now, no longer in Locrian. Now that moves to our tonic. Right. So if I have an F major, but it's Phrygian, it's my 4. I'm playing a C major scale in this position, but focused on those Fs a little bit more, okay? Moving it up now, we're in our Mixolydian, our G Mixolydian, right? If I popped in, if we were gonna do that G Mixolydian down here, and I didn't want to play it down in that position, I wanted to move it up. Right, I'm playing it here. Now it's the same idea. We're taking that what was our major, our Lydian, and making it a major scale starting on the 6th string. Now we're on Mixolydian. It becomes our Dorian here on this position, but playing a little bit more focused on those G's, right, and so on. So it's so beneficial to sort of be thinking of the modes in those 2 positions, just like we think of bar chords, right? And that's the main point of the lesson. Let me know if that sits well, if you guys need a little bit more explanation. Actually, if you guys do need a little bit more of an explanation, that would help me, as I am trying to sculpt this course that does touch on some of these subjects. Anything that you guys aren't getting or need a little bit of help with in regards to that lesson will definitely help. So I know that was a lot. I'm going to put something for some of the beginners out too, because that was a lot. So awesome. Thanks, guys.